All right there, folks. Welcome back to Malmo. We have a dream. We have a hope. We have a chance. Champions League qualification to the quarter-final, or rather the first knockout round, is possible. Let's recap, though, on our only game in between since you saw us beat Porto, a 2-0 home victory over Djurgården. Djurgården finishing second in the Allsvenskan in the end, so we actually finished a good 8 points clear at the top of the table. Very comfortable in the end, despite some concerning defeats, you've got to say. But it is, it's an interesting season playing in Sweden. I've not done it before. I've not managed in Sweden, and I'm enjoying it, to be honest, because, well, we've got Champions League games now, and we don't have to worry about league football, of course. So maybe it gives us a slight advantage. I don't know. Jezza is back, the big man. He may have been out for pretty much half the league campaign, but he's won a lot of awards. Let's have a quick look at his awards. He's won Player of the Year, Forward of the Year. So I mean, that's a bit of a shame on everybody else, as Jezza's won them all. Strandberg won the basically top goal scorer in Sweden, wanted now by Swansea of the Premier League, of course. So we may not be able to fend off Swansea. One thing, getting Feyenoord or PSV wanted him, and that was a difficult sell to keep him then. So to keep him away from Premier League suitors, that is a tricky one. Anyway, today's nothing to do with that kind of thing. We've got a couple of months until the transfer window opens, so they can't touch him until then. One regret is that Lagamina will be leaving the club prior to us taking on Paris. His loan deal... That's the wrong button. His loan deal expires at the end of November, and we face PSG in December. So I wanted to keep him, but obviously Fiorentina have got very little to do with it, actually. But Palermo is the club that he is actually owned by. They want to give him a chance in the first team because he's actually scored a lot of goals for us since he's come in. 10 goals in 17. They could probably do with that in their side. So, never mind. Anyway, let's crack on. Couple of injuries we picked up. Hugo Anderson and Larsson, not a concern particularly because they're both backups at this stage, so we should be able to go pretty much full strength. We might even be able to find a place for Jez. Fingers crossed we can do the damage today and beat Olympiakos, and that really would see us in a really strong position going into that final group game, albeit against PSG. The advantage being, of course, is that when Olympiakos do meet Porto on final day, they can't both win. So we may have a little bit of an advantage being a little bit of the driving seat, but time will tell. I'll see you pitch time in just a minute with the team. So there we go then, it's pretty much full strength. Safari makes his way back onto the bench. He's been injured as well, and Jezza does take his place on the bench. We won't upset the strike force at this stage, although Jezza is obviously a good player and hopefully can do some damage if and when we need him from the bench. He's not quite fit to start, and the same with Safari, really. You can just see there 58% match sharpness. It's not ideal, so let's just hope that we can do something today and stay in the hunt on final day. Lose today and it pretty much does seal our fate out of Champions League. Doesn't get rid of us at all completely from Europe, because obviously if we finish third, then we might be able to have a chance at going into the Europa League. But as I say this though, play continues as Marias plays a loose ball and Bashiru picks it up. Lagamina collects. What can he do? Finds Levicki deeper. Bashiru, will he go to Levicki? He does. Out left now to Benaku. Sends the ball down the line, but not read and cleared by Olympiakos. But we collect. Nielsen gives it to... it ends up with Rosenberg. Levicki. I'm guilty of ball watching, but I'm so absorbed. Lagamina, decent strike, and I assume that's Adam Bogdan. Familiar to English football fans. Used to be of Wigan or Bolton. Well, I digress. I mix them up. I'm having some good opportunities, so at least some good play early on as Levicki controlled that ball and then lost it, but we win it back. Benson should collect this if he decides to run. Goes back to Darling, he goes long now. Lagamina is going to be under it. He wins it to Strandberg. Hasn't scored for a while, is Strandberg, as we saw in the pre-match. Bashiri gives it to Vinheim, who can cross. Rosenberg heads in at the near post, and we have a 1-0 lead inside 8 minutes. Away at Olympiakos, a very difficult place to go, but we take an early lead, and that would see us move up onto 7 points. It's possible. It's ridiculously possible that we could qualify. I don't quite believe it, and I'm not going to accept it at this point. I refuse to believe it. You can see there, league table now updated. Oh, Vinheim doing the business, but loose ball. But that's even looser. Lagomina, well, I mean, we get away with that. Rosenberg gets into the penalty area, crosses, Lagomina heads in. Inside 11 minutes, 2-0 to the good. We might well qualify from a Champions League group containing PSG. I mean, we're obviously not going to win it. No, we can't win it. But unless PSG lose tonight and then we beat them, we could finish group winners. That's the aim now. Group winners in the Champions League. 80 minutes to play, and I'm counting chickens as Pardo loses out. Marias crosses and simply put in by Karim Ansarafard, and our 2-goal advantage lasted but 3 minutes. We never really got the ball clear. You can see a few players there ball watching, and it's crossed, and about 15 red and white shirts. I'm not wearing a Olympiakos shirt. This is obviously Mighty Potters, so you know I'm not completely devoid of sentiment. And Engels, they've got such a good team. It's a good team, isn't it? Martins goes to Bonera. Nice ball down the flank to Marias and crossed in, and 2-2. It's pretty much all Olympiakos have done, but having said that, the goals are all we've done, and we're right back at square one. It's this ball that undid us from Bonera. It's a cracking pass, right down the corner that is, and a lovely cross as well. Darling wrong foot, he can't get hold of the ball. And suddenly it's all Olympiakos, Marias, Ojija, Martins. If he can get the cross in, it'll be dangerous, but we win it. But what do we do? Rosenberg's a forward and he's played it long. Bashiru looped out left now to Lagomina. It's how we work these opportunities that'll tell the tale of the day. Bashiru has got 2 ranged efforts against Djurgården in the final Allsvenskan game, and then can't hit the target from there. Inconsistency. And literally stoppage time now before. I mean, that's the worst throw-in in the history of man. But hopefully we can recover. Lagomina, if he can send the forward on his way, he can't. And pinball goes the way of Olympiakos. Marias plays it forward. He's going to be an important player for them. And that's a good ball, though. Rosenberg, I mean, he's an old man, but can he pump some iron? He can. He crosses. Strandberg can't score. Carlos Strandberg has gone on an absolute goal drought. We don't have anyone else. Well, I say we don't. We didn't have anyone else. We do have Jezza on the bench now. I think, what do we say? I think, good. I'm glad I thought about it. Sometimes you can rush into these team talks and get the wrong outcome. So it's good to be able to think about it and at least take the full blame yourself. Second half gets underway and, well, you know, you can see Paris have pulled away, but it's a real battle to finish second and third in this group. Either one of those would be an immense achievement. Finishing 4th, in fairness, is an immense achievement as we win the ball back, but that'll stop play. I think we're going to make a change then, and it's going to be the reintroduction of a hero. It's going to be Jez. The big Jezza comes on. We're going to stick him in the centre ahead of Strandberg. Strandberg's been average at best the last few weeks, last couple of months probably. You see Bernarco's not having a great game, 6.4, looking nervous as well. We're going to get him off for the Safari man. Safari's not ideal at left wing back, but he is okay, and we do need to be mindful that his nervousness could cost us something. Safari's experience hopefully will be key. Very little's happening though. Very little's happening. Apart from now, when a corner from Gilles headed away and we don't recover the ball, Marias has pulled all the strings, I think, for Olympiakos. Romeo, Panagiotis, and inside now. I thought he might have been offside, but he isn't. And we go behind. I mean, the players are appealing for offside. It felt iffy. Let's have a look. Stamitiu, where are you, boy? Is it you? Yep. Oh, I mean, it felt offside. It might not have been. I'm not going to pull it back because To be 2-0 up and then throw it away is disappointing, but we have to acknowledge where we are in the standing of things, and that really does mean it's very, very impossible, I think, at this stage for us to now qualify out of this group to the next round of the Champions League, given it's based on head-to-heads, of course. A 0-0 draw and then a 3-2 defeat. Olympiakos will have the better of us in this situation, and we're basically hoping that we can somehow finish above Porto. That's all we can rely on. Poor performance in the end. A decent start, but a poor display. We never really got to grips. I think we have to say we're not happy because we collapsed a little bit. You know, and we missed chances. Strandberg guilty again. Goal drought continues. It's a concern given how few options we have. But never mind, and there we go. We're knocked out of the Champions League. We can't qualify ahead of it. We just now have to hope and pray that we can finish third ahead of Porto. And obviously that will be tough with a home game against PSG in just over 2 weeks' time. It's ridiculous waiting that long for a game, but there it is. Fingers crossed we can do something there. Do pop a like on there for me. At least we led, and we looked like we might be able to do something, but it wasn't to be. Never mind. And subscribe as well. Really would be great. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Massive clash against PSG. At least we'll rake in the money, and we'll get to see Neymar again, who terrorised us with Mbappe last time. I look forward to seeing that I look forward. You got to say these words. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care and goodbye.